Hey, happy campers, Todd here at Great American RV, and today we're going over our Furrion Tankless Water Heater. We're going to go over a little bit of safety, operation, and maintenance on this. Stay tuned. So we have our tankless water heater. It's going to work off of 12 volts for power, so that means our battery power. And then we're also going to have propane to actually heat that water. So I say tankless, it's an on-demand water heater, right? So to open it up, we're going to pull that little tab right there. Now, because we're working off of propane on a yearly basis, you should have a leak check done on your propane. And then you should also make sure your LP detector works on the inside for safety. That helps ensure that we don't have any leaks, and if we do, that alarm will go off and take care of you. As far as 12 volts goes, having a good 12 volt battery, if you are dry camping especially, because that's the power you'll need. If you're plugged into shore power, your converter should be kicked in, helping charge that battery, so you should have good 12 volts. The low limit cutoff for voltage is 10 volts, at which point this will stop activating and heating your water. So we'll take a look on the back side of it here shortly, but on the outside, we'll just point out, we have a little tab, we turn, straighten that out, and then we pull our door off of our two nipples, pull it up, drop it down, and it's out of the way. So on the inside of our door, we'll take a little closer look here. We will notice off to the left side, we have a 10 amp blade fuse in here. That is for over amperage on the system. So if you're not having any power on the inside, we want to check there. We also want to make sure that this switch right here is on. So the on position would be clicked up where the straight line is. And as long as both of those are okay, our monitor on the inside should turn on and our system should activate, right? This is our control board right here, nothing in particular. We'll go ahead and pull it off. As we can see, nothing fancy on the inside, no fuses, no anything, nothing that you really need to check out on, unless you just want to make sure that these plugs are all plugged in right here. That's pretty much it. It does give you a wiring diagram on the back of here in the event that you call Furrion, they want you to unplug or check voltage on any of these things. If you're going through diagnostics with them, you can. Beyond that, you have your flue right here. This is the exhaust for your unit. So this is where the hot air is going to be coming out. You have a small copper tank in the back that gets heated with your little reservoir of water, and the water transfers through there as it's getting heated. And we need to make sure there's no obstructions on this, no screens, anything like that, no dirt divers nests, so on and so forth. There's a little fan in there that kicks on. If that fan is not operational, then this system is not going to work. It has a sensor that says, hey, fan's not working, I'm not working, right? We also have a temperature sensor on here. If it gets over a certain temp, it's going to shut down. If there is no flame anymore, the flame suddenly goes out for whatever reason, that gas supply will shut off as a safety measure as well. We do have our water control knob right here that controls our water inlet flow into that system. Generally, you're going to have that on max. In freezing temperatures, you're going to want to turn that down to the minimum as suggested by the owner's manual. Down here, we're going to have our high pressure drain valve right here. We'll talk a little more about that in a little while. This black one, that is a screen behind there, and then this is our drain down at the bottom. Beyond that, you're not going to be able to tell a whole lot more. If you look really good, once the system activates, you can see a blue flame back there once it ignites, and you can check that flame to make sure that it is nice and blue. Now, I always suggest to customers, whenever you have a gas appliance, whether this is your water heater or your furnace, you want to go purge the air out of your system. Anytime you store your unit, generally your tanks are shut off, so you're going to end up with air in your lines, or you just change your propane tanks. Go bleed everything out at your stovetop before you operate these so they don't go into a fault. If you need more information on that, we have a video that goes over how to bleed air out of your gas system. Beyond that, there's not much else to see out here as far as component-wise, so let's go ahead and take a look behind it. All right, so here we are on the back of the water heater. A few things in the way we'll tuck off for a second, but this is pretty much it, okay? We have our protection valve right here. This is going to spit out water if this system becomes too pressurized. We want to check that on a yearly basis. We want to turn this clockwise, click it 5 times, and if water expels out of that tube to the overflow tube on the outside, the clear silicone tube, then that valve is working properly. All right. Beyond that, not much else to go over back here. You have your water in and out for your hot and cold. Check valve on the system, 12 volts coming in to power it up, and that pretty well wraps up the back side of this unit. So we already kind of dove into maintenance a little bit. Let's go ahead and continue with that. The black knob that we showed you right there, let's pull you off, take a look. This black knob right here, turn it counterclockwise, loosen it up, and you can get a big flat blade screwdriver, put it in there, turn it. There is a water inlet screen right there that you need to go ahead and clean. Make sure that your system isn't on and that water has cooled off before you pull that off. Otherwise, hot water is going to be shooting out at you. Relieve the pressure by turning a faucet on, and then go ahead and pull that out and just clean the screen. All right, they're real easy to clean, reusable screen. Stick it back in there, tighten it up, pressurize your system, make sure you don't have any leaks. The brass port right below it, that is our drain port right here. So when we want to winterize our unit, we can do one of 2 things. We can go ahead and drain all of our water out of here and pressurize the system with air to blow it out. Either way, you're going to do that one thing during winterization. You're going to pressurize this system and blow the air out of it. So open that port right there, turn all of your other faucets, valves, everything off, and then blow the air through this system. You do not want to exceed 50 PSI on this system. According to the owner's manual, you will blow out a seal or something on here, so do not exceed 50 PSI. Once you are done, close your valve off, and then you can do one of 2 things. You can have a bypass system on here with valves on the back of it, in which case just leave the valve open and you're good. If you don't have a bypass system and you're going to end up filling with antifreeze, just close this off, fill your system with antifreeze, and you're good to go. To de-winterize, all you have to do is just open this up. You can drain antifreeze out that way and just continuously flush the system by turning your hot water on and letting it run for a period of time, and that will flush that system out eventually. Then you can choose whether or not you want to sanitize it with bleach and water. Another thing that I'll point out for winterization, if you are using this in cold temperatures or you choose to just have your system on during cold temperatures, at 43 degrees on these models that are marked down below, these systems will automatically kick on and it will actually start to heat the water to prevent it from freezing up. But this system has to be powered up. So if you're just storing your unit and you're leaving water in that system, make sure that this system is on and you have a good 12 volts, and it will automatically kick on those 2 models down below, like I said, and it will prevent the system from freezing up. If you are using it, once again, as long as it has those model numbers, you're pretty well safe. If they don't, you need to be very aware of those cold temperatures because that tank in the back can bust. It's a small tank, but that copper will split wide open if the system freezes. Another suggestion by the manual is if you are working in freezing temperatures, you want to go ahead and drop it down to the minimum flow for that as well. So that covers maintenance, right? We talked about our high pressure valve, operating that once a year, getting our leak check done. We want to check our sealant around the top, make sure we have no cracking, peeling, deterioration, make sure there's no insect, bird nests, anything like that built in here or in our flue right here. That's it. Talked about power. Power, 10 amp fuse, on off switch right here, 12 volts. Need at least 10 volts to operate. That would be its shutoff. Of course, you're going to need water, whether it's from your fresh tank or from your city water connection flowing through here for it to work. Now let's go ahead and go to the inside and look at the controls on how we actually operate those. All right, so this is our controller right here, really simple. On and off right there, Fahrenheit or Celsius. Power icon lets you know it's powered up. Then you have Fahrenheit or Celsius icon, and then your flame icon. When your hot water is turned on, that flame icon will illuminate, letting you know that it's kicked on, and your temperature will begin to rise to whatever your set temperature is here. If you want to change that, hit your buttons here, up and down. Very, very simple system. That's it on our Furrion On-Demand Water Heater. Really simple system, easy to maintain, easy to operate. Hope that helps you out. If you got any questions, drop them down in the link below. If you want your owner's manual for it or you want more information on it, we have that link down there in the description. You can go check it out. And that's pretty much it. You got anything else, let us know. We're here to help you. Thanks for watching here at Great American RV. We bring the how-to you.